Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallant
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, racing fans of all ages, welcome to the monthly Race for PAD 266, proudly brought to you by KMA Racing Association with PAD. I am Scott Golovic in the announcer's booth. I've got my good friends with me, Cody Lipster and Scott Finstermacher. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing all right. Looking forward to having a good race tonight and seeing what kind of show these guys can put on for us.
Well, I tell you what, I think it's going to be a great show, and it is definitely for a great cause. The reason behind this race tonight is PAD. PAD is People Against Distracted Driving, and their mission is to educate the world about the distracted driving dangers. It's a terrible thing, and we here at KMA and a lot of racers here in iRacing do everything we can to get that word out there. Tell us a little bit more about Cody, about PAD and how it's affected your life.
PAD is one of those things that I tell everybody about. I strongly believe in it. Through my racing career, personally, I know I've been involved in a lot of wrecks, and I know those wrecks can hurt. I could only imagine what those crashes could do to a person that's not prepared for it or not trained for those kind of incidents. So keep the phones put down. There's no reason to cause anybody to crash and burn, more or less. So let's try to keep them safe on the road, on and off the track.
Yes, sir, definitely. Most awesome advice right there. Now, while we are running around this super speedway track tonight, we're going to be looking at a lot of trucks that are painted up, showing their purple. And the story behind that, when Mike Clenny's daughter, Nikki, lost her life, well, purple was her favorite number. So, of course, naturally, that's what we tried to represent PAD with. It's such a beautiful color, and again, Nikki was such a beautiful young woman, and it was just a tragedy out there of what happened. Just a tragedy. Right now we are under qualifying. Currently the number 35, Braxton Proper, pulling down to 53735. I'm not sure that's going to hold up there in that P1 spot.
As we got a lot of people running out here, Scott, 170, 180 miles per hour plus. These people are going to be pulling down some quick times tonight as we have a track temp of only, outside temp of 65 degrees, track temp of 65 degrees. No wind tonight, though. That's kind of going to put a little bit of play into fact.
Yes, sir. Now, Scott, we are working with a 30-lap fuel run tonight. Taking in the fuel load and the tire wear here on this speedway. What do you think is going to be the pitting scenario?
I think the pitting strategy today is going to depend a lot on the drivers and their attitudes towards the drivers around them. Talladega is wide, but it does have a reputation for bringing some big crashes in there. Hopefully we can avoid those. Tire wear, not so much an issue. Usually you have to change the tires at least once, but I think you're going to see a lot of 2 tire changes to kind of work up the track position. Other than that, like I said, I think it's going to depend on those drivers, how much respect they give to the drivers around them tonight.
And hopefully we definitely will see that respect early on and late on. I do think with a 100-lap race tonight, patience is going to be the key. And I've seen many a time where a pole sitter has gone from the back to the front to the back to the front, and it can go either way. Just nobody knows with these speedways.
It can, and you'll see a lot of strategy playing out. You'll see some drivers drop to the back right off the beginning to kind of minimize their exposure to those accidents, and you'll see some drivers that fight to stay up front and try and stay ahead of those accidents. So promises to be an interesting show tonight.
So, Scott, we got 3 fast repairs, an hour and 15 minutes of racing if we go caution-free. What are we going to do here? I mean, obviously iRacing gives us a very unique option to get us brand new cars and get our cars set back up so that way we can get back out there and race if we do end up getting caught up in a wreck. What are we going to be looking at for maybe using those fast repairs up in the beginning, middle, end?
I think you're going to be seeing a lot of drivers trying to conserve those fast repairs as long as they can. If they can take some optional repairs, only requiring a couple of seconds, I think you will see them doing that rather than take the full-blown full repair and wasting one of those fast repairs.
Now, one thing about those fast repairs, even if you do not get into an incident, Sometimes if you're being pushed on pretty hard, then you still may end up using one if you get some rear damage or front end damage.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as we are gridding up here, looks like our first place person is going to be James Brown with a 53.431. Nathan Sylvia is sitting in second with a 53.432. Mark Maffett with a tied time of 53.432. Pretty good there. Andrew Schulte with a 53.434. Wally Tierheimer with a 53.435. Great times in the top 5.
And rounding out the top 10, we've got Tor Hellebo, we've got Brandon Schnupp, Greg Webb, Alan Larson, and bringing up the number 10 spot is Lloyd Saunders. Really tight times, all within looks like 0.03 of a second of each other in the top 10.
Yes, sir. Those are some really quick and very tight times. Now, a couple of drivers we're going to try to keep an eye on tonight. Mark Maffett in number 67, P3 spot. We're going to keep an eye on him and his teammate, Tor Hellebo, in the number 4. Two awesome drivers. What other teammates have we got in here? Cody, what are we looking at?
Well, tonight we also have quite a few KMA drivers in the field. We got Brandon and Lloyd sitting, looks like in 10th or 12th position here. Yeah, 10th and 8th, my bad. But it's going to be really coming down to teammates by the time this thing gets done and over with, how many people you have around you that like you.
Now, notice we did have several drivers that chose not to qualify their trucks tonight. Is that a smart thing to do on the speedway, Scott?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It depends how that front pack decides to react. A lot of times what you'll see, drivers hanging out in the back, if they wind up losing the draft, that can cause even more problems because that can actually spread the field out, cause fewer cautions, and then it's even harder for them to make that ground up on this super speedway.
Yes, it is. And on the super speedway, the starts are critical. Now, tonight they do go on leader's discretion, and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes not so much. If you are that leader and you do decide to get a little bit of a jump, and the trucks behind you do not go, you're going to get run over like a freight train. So these starts are critical here at Talladega.
You know, Scott, I just went and, obviously being up here in the blimp view, you get a good look at how big this field is. We've got a full 43 cars. That is an amazing size field for these trucks.
It is. It is going to make for some really good racing. And again, with the blimp view, I'm looking down here and I am seeing a sea of purple. Purple representing that Pad Pride. The sight to be seen. And drivers are making their way ever closer to that start-finish line, most critical point of the race.
As that pace car is getting ready, coming out of turn 4, we're going to be pulling off here. And this is going to get fast, quick.
Yes,
Drivers
sir.
starting to stack up.
We've got James Brown on that P1. He's going to be going up against Nathan on P2. Mark, Andrew, and Wally, 3, 4, and 5. I'm looking to see these first couple laps go real nice and easy, I'm thinking.
That's usually what happens. These drivers kind of get a feel for each other. They'll kind of sort themselves out. But I have a feeling some of these drivers out here, you're going to see 3 wide within about 10 laps.
I would almost say 3 wide on the backstretch.
Alrighty, and we are off. These trucks are coming around turn 1 on turn 2. James Brown still up there in the front, being pushed on by that 6'7", 57, and 31 on that inside. Nathan in the 22 and the 8 on that outside, just holding steady.
Alrighty, these restrictor plates, they make the cars take quite a while to get up to speed, but now that they're getting up there, 180, 190 coming off the backstretch, entering turn 3, 4 now, we're going to end up crossing the line, and it's going to be a tight battle to see who takes over that first place spot.
Yes, sir, it is. And we've got Andrew Schulten, the number 8, pushing hard on his teammate, Nathan, in that 22, challenging the 00 and the 67. Appears we're going to have Nathan Sylvia in that 22 maybe get the lead. I'm not sure. Up there goes that 67 and 00. He is not going to give up that first place spot. Pretty good side-by-side racing right now. Everybody seems to hold their line. Nobody seems to be really interested in 3 wide up front. That's a good thing, showing a lot of patience.
Looks like we got a driver up on top in the back. Looks like he may be going backwards. Might be a smart move right now. Keeping it calm, cool, collective, clean.
Yes, sir, but oftentimes going backwards, you know, you're slowing down, you're losing your momentum. That may not be a good idea back there.
No, I think he just got shuffled out of line from the looks of it. It looks like the 84, I think. He got pushed back a little bit, but he fell back in line in the top lane with those drivers.
Ryan Eckstein, position 16. Car number 80 looking real good, showing a lot of patience, working his way.
So our top 7, top 8 are still pretty tight right now. Looking really clean up front, getting little bumps here and there, but still looking pretty clean.
James Brown, still on that P1 spot at the tail end of lap 3.
As they're going down the backstretch at 195 miles per hour, man, this is a quick field right now.
All drivers showing a lot of patience. Don't really see anybody challenging anybody quite yet. I do believe these drivers are really hoping to see some green flag pit stops tonight.
Yeah, green flag pit stops would be real nice, especially if we can get it the first part of the race.
One thing I've noticed is we've already got some trucks that are falling back there. They've already lost the main draft. We've got Jay Dargert back here. We've got Richard Brosey. We've got Rick Smith. They're all just hanging back here, not even with the pack. So I have a feeling this early in the race, that's going to come back to bite them.
Yeah, once you get that many cars one lap down, you're not going to get that many cars back on the lead lap with one caution.
Leaders are flying past that solo truck there, and they're just passing him like a rocket ship.
Yes, they are, and that's one of the dangers of this track is when you come up on those oncoming trucks going at a slower rate of speed, the closure rate is so high, and hopefully those drivers know that the big pack is coming and they are respectful and get up out of the way, and luckily that truck was very cooperative, so we didn't have any accidents.
That driver is Rick D. Smith, 39. He was very smart right there, considering that he was going 180 miles per hour compared to the field of 194, 197.
Definitely was a little bit of a danger there, being a slower traffic. As we are approaching lap 7, our current race leader is...
Oh, we have an accident on the front stretch.
Does not appear that caution is going to fly. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. It looked like he was able to keep it off the inside wall, at least pretty close to keeping it off the inside wall. It doesn't look like he'll walk away with too much damage.
And we may have a new race leader coming up. 31 dropping down to that inside lane, going for that P1 spot, being pushed on by the number 22, Nathan. Andrew left up high by himself, and they are wiggling like a snake up in that outer lane. That outer lane has completely fallen apart, lost their momentum. Number 8, Andrew, up by himself, 3 wide.
3 wide, it looks like they were almost going to make a 4 wide there for a second, as they are still trying to gather it up back in the back of the pack. That accordion, in fact, really taking itself down.
Number 8, Andrew, being picked up by his teammate, Wally Tierheimer in the 5-7. Now, I'm thinking these boys are going to move as they're coming up onto that number 4. It appears they're going to push rather than pass, and they have got 5 trucks hooked up bumper to bumper in that middle lane, and they are still not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere yet, but they got the whole backstretch yet.
Going forward a little bit, we're taking a look at the number 5, G. Widmer, and that pad truck being pushed on by the number 32, playing it safe. Inside lane, beginning to pick up a little bit of momentum. Number 66, Edward Bray, jumps up in front of the 4 and the 8, causing a little bit of bumper banging going on right there. Guys, we got to be careful about here. We're jumping up in front of people.
Oh yeah.
One thing you'll notice out here as well, some of these drivers sticking their nose out to get some fresh air in those trucks as they're coming up on the lap traffic again of number 25. That is Richard Brosey.
Richard Brosey in the 25, already a lap down. Good driver. I have complete faith he will get it back.
Or at least I trying.
And when I said we were going to go 3 wide within 10 laps, it's not exactly what I meant. But now we're starting to look at some drivers trying to make that 3 wide on the offensive side. And he decided to drop back down into the line.
Smart, patient driving can really pay off later in the race.
Yes, sir, it can. And this is 100 laps tonight with pad 266. That is a long time to get her done. We are 1/3 of our way towards our first round of green flag pit stops. Everybody staying double file. Nobody really seeming to push the issue right now.
Yeah, nobody's really pushing the issue, and you don't see a lot of trucks really pushing on each other right now. They're keeping their temperatures under control. They're trying to make it to that first green flag pit stop, and then they're probably going to see how that strategy plays out, maybe get with some of their teammates and make some runs towards the front.
A little bit of 3 wide going on down there coming out of the corner. But again, they just really do not look like they're real interested. Everybody's just kind of hanging out, having a good night.
That's right. It's way too early in this race for them to be making these kind of really aggressive moves. Oops, look out, the 26 just cut off the 93 in that 3rd lane. That could have been bad.
Yes, sir, and they are 3 wide. We've got the 26 getting up that middle. He is definitely starting to get a little busy.
3 wide, we're coming up on the lap car.
These lap cars tonight, they've been doing a really good job of staying up into that high lane, staying out of the way, staying out of harm's way. And we've got it bumping into the wall with that lap car. And we are going to have our first caution of the night. Gonna rewind, take a quick look at that, see what happened out here. Definitely
Looks like
hate it.
that.
Go ahead.
Well, it looks like that 08 may have just barely came up the track just a tad bit. Maybe being forced up there. Not too greatly, but just enough where he was able to clip the 58 and 08. Driving back down, may have gotten caught up with the rest of the field.
Yes, sir. And the 08 is Matthew Cole, the fine driver.
Actually, that's the 80 of Ryan Eckstein.
The 80.
That's
That
right.
would be my bad. Yep, absolutely. 80.
Yeah, that's right. It looked like he was actually following his partner, the number 93, Greg Webb. And as Greg went up into that move back in that top lane, he just followed him right back up there and right into the left front quarter panel of the 58. 58 was Jason Hughes.
Yes, sir. That is exactly what happened there. Unfortunate break. We did not have a lot of drivers taken out on that, so that's been a mighty good thing. Again, we were talking about the resets. This is where those drivers will go in, get their first of 3 backup trucks, make a fuel stop. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of drivers right now taking 4 tires. What do you think?
I would almost actually go with 2 tires right now. Try to get the track position, get up there, get a lap lead, see what you can do with that car. I mean, obviously we've only seen 1 caution so far, but there's still a lot of cars in one field, so I would not be surprised if you see another caution maybe within the next 30 to 40 laps.
Well, we all know that cautions do breed cautions.
By my count, And by my count, only 2 cars did not go in, maybe 3, to take any sort of repairs. So that was an interesting move at this point. It's a third of the way through the run already. So maybe they're banking on another caution at lap 30.
It could very well be their line of thinking. I know that if I had gone to them pit stops, I'd be taking all fuel, windshield tear-offs, and definitely 4 tires. I might even air up my spare tire. I'll tell you what, I think these tires are going to be showing some wear and tear before too long.
I don't know. This early in the race, I might have even gambled and taken no tires, just topped off that tank to get some of that precious track position. Let those accidents happen behind me.
Right now, under caution, on lap 13, we've got the number 30 Ed Hewitt up on that pole spot. Nathan Sylvia, Mark Maffitt, Brandon Schnupp, 2, 3, and 4. And again, James O. Brown still holding it together up there in P5.
And the truck that was in that accident, the number 58 of Jason Hughes, he's still out there. He's got some damage in the right rear quarter panel from that contact with the wall. Looks like he's either going to take pit stop now or maybe he's hoping to take the wave around.
Right now, he is in 37th spot.
And no, he went into the pits. Okay.
All right, and we've got Robert Mattis sitting at 2 laps down. He'll be fighting to get that lucky dog for too long.
One thing to mention about the lucky dog, if you are in the accident that brings out the yellow, you are not going to get it, so you need to keep your nose clean when those cautions come out.
Oh, that is definitely true. And I tell you, Scott, what I see a lot of lucky dogs trying to do is they're trying to get up in front of the pack. And I think their line of thinking is if I'm going to get up in front, I'm going to get ahead of the caution that you know is going to come out. But now the flip side of that, you got a lap car sitting up there, and you're racing against the leaders themselves. And again, we roll right back to our teammates, and teammates tend to go with their teammates even if they are a lap car down, and I have seen them actually form a bubble of sorts to protect him, to guarantee he will get that lucky dog.
That's true, but it is a risky procedure. Like we saw the closure rates from the main pack catching up to that lapped car. It's just so hard to get back into the draft, even if you manage to catch in with your teammates.
Now, you say there's a closure rate and a bubble and everything like that. How many teammates, how many drivers do you think you need to be able to maintain speed with this pack?
Well, you know, that's an interesting question right there. You know, if you're going double file, you're going to achieve a different speed as if you were just single file running as a freight train. And I prefer the freight train option because you can hook up 5 or 6 trucks on that queue line run, and you will boogie on along and gain speed. On the other hand, double file, you'll pick up a lot of speed doing that side draft. There's a lot more checking up to keep from running each other over. But I would say 6 trucks is about the right number.
Alright. Now with the new downforce package iRacing has, do you guys think that's going to do anything for tire wear? Anything different for maybe fuel strategy? Anything different for speeds?
I think you're not going to see quite as much. We haven't seen a lot of tire wear in the last couple of races. Mostly now we got the inside tires that are wearing out faster than the outsides, so it's a good idea to kind of keep an eye on those, maybe change those a little bit more often than the outsides. But track position in this on here is so critical. I mean, if you could keep your truck in front of that accident, keep your resets intact for the end of the race, I think you're going to be farther ahead.
Absolutely. Track position may be important, but you take a look at Edward Bray, the number 66, started 14th, worked his way all the way up to 6th.
Now, Edward Bray, he is a mighty careful driver, but he knows when to put that hammer down, and he knows when to hold him and when to fold him. I expect a lot out of that number 66 tonight.
And as you can see, the trucks are now double file, getting ready to take the restart on lap 16.
Again, gentlemen, we are at the Race for Pad 266 monthly event. Live broadcast being done by All Pro Broadcasting Network. Nathan Sylvia and Mark Maffitt, 1 and 2, as we do approach lap 16, 1 caution. Now, do you think Nathan's going to go on pace car, go on green, and again, these restarts are so critical Who has he got around him to work with up there?
Right
Nathan
behind
Sil-
him. Go ahead.
Nathan Sylvia, he's got I don't really know how many teammates he's got around him, but it looks like James might be able to work with him a little bit more than Mark or Tor might, just because of who he's with. But pace car is off, and he looks like he might just stay laid back until green flag.
Well, this will be our first race start, and they are off. Equal start there. Nice clean start. 00 being pushed on by the 4, trying to get up to that 22 and the 31 and 67 on that outside lane, lining up with the 66 and the 57, and we have got a 4-car train forming up on that outside lane.
That's right. One thing about that outside lane, if you can get enough cars hooked up, you are going to carry your momentum through those turns, and you are going to be able to pass that inside line.
Now we are seeing gaps from about position 7 back, nobody pushing real hard in the back. Leaders are pushing like mad up there, which is obvious. They got to stay up there in front. So far everybody is double file, nobody's threatening the 3 wide.
Not yet. They're still coming up to speed. They're hitting 194 right now. Coming through the tri-oval for the first lap of this restart.
Now I'll tell you another good driver I'm going to take a look at here real quick is a number 75, Johnny Smith, I believe. Another good driver, showing his...
One that has worked his way back from 25th, I believe, is where he started. He's up to 11th now, doing very good with those purple rims on that pad truck.
Yes, sir, and in our last pad event, he did actually receive that iRacing credit for having those pad logos displayed on his vehicle. Again, it does pay to display those logos. Johnny Smith pushing on the 33 of Robert Riley. Getting ready to get it tucked up under the number 8 and the 57, and again, we're looking at that outside lane forming 7-8 trucks long.
And you'll see right now we've got an actual small break. We got looks like 12 trucks in the first pack, and we've got about another 9 in the second pack, trailing shortly behind them, maybe trying to stay out of trouble a little bit.
New race leader on lap 18. I'm showing Mark Maffett up there in the front. Brandon Schnupp and Nathan still in P3. Whole lot of give and take tonight. Looking like a mighty fine race so far.
That it is. It definitely is. They're staying too wide for the time being. Trying to keep those trucks safe, to keep those resets clean. Oops, looks like someone else got on the apron there.
That apron here, it is not your friend, I tell you what. You know, a lot of drivers will tend to try to rim ride that yellow line, and if you can make it work, it's a good thing, but when you come around that corner, that truck pushing on you, if you tap that apron and he does not lift, you are going for a ride.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we all know that from personal experiences around here. We've rode around here long enough to know that you touch that yellow line around anybody, it could cause very big mayhem.
Oh, and what mayhem it can cause. All right, we are looking at, as we cross our finish line, top 10 trucks, double file, side by side, nobody threatening. About 4 clicks back. Everybody's single file. Again, we are 3 wide on the 33. Number 8 went up. And 33 might get hung out of that line. That inside lane is pushing hard with that 32 and the 4.
That's right. It doesn't look... Oh, nope. One of his teammates or someone decided to open up a gap in that top lane, and the 8 truck of Andrew Schulten has to get back in line.
Good defensive driving, guys. Really makes it work.
On out to the back of this main pack, we do have a truck in trouble. Trying to get a zoom in on him. They were threatening 3 wide, and again, he had popped that apron a little bit, rocking that truck. Caught it. Current race leader, 31, Brandon Schnupp, lap 21.
but it looks like the 67 Mark Mathis and the 22 of Nathan Silver pushing on each other. They're trying to keep that truck up front.
We've got Edward Bray coming on the outside. And again, we were talking about Edward a few minutes ago. You'll see him in the back, and then you'll see him in the front. Mighty fine driver. I do think if he and the 31 work together, they may be able to take that outside lane up there to the front.
And I see the 21 of Sean Zulu and the 87 of Justin Michael. They're trying to get that third lane working.
All right, in the front, the 31 abandoning Edward Bray in the 66 for the lead down in front of 67.
That's one of the negatives about being in that outside line. You can really get hot real quick up there. Push that leader to the lead, and hopefully he'll go down, so that way the next person in line will push you to the lead.
Yes, sir. Dropping back a couple spots. Let's take a look at the 87 of Justin Michael and 21 of Sean Zulu. They are making that outside third lane work, and here they come. Can they get that momentum to get that outside lane up there to the front, Cody?
If they can get enough cars up there, I'm thinking maybe three might not be enough. You might have to have a fourth or maybe even a fifth to try to get that outside lane going with these trucks.
Yes, sir, and it appears right now they are losing momentum. The first and second lane working together. Watching the Robert Riley drifted up just a little bit. No contact made. These are drivers right now. They are on a mission. 21 and 87, once again, trying to get the run down the backstretch.
It is truly amazing to see these 3 lanes of trucks being able to work in 2 lanes of traffic. You can reach your arms out and you'll slap the guy next to you.
Yes, sir. 66 almost came up into the 21 of Sean Zulu. They are 3 wide for the lead.
She's Sean Zulu and Justin Michael pushing on each other, trying to get one into the lead, and he does.
He drops down into the middle in front of the 66 Edward Bray, and they are 3 wide, 57
Accident.
in trouble. 57 in trouble. All right, gentlemen, that was in the front with the leaders pushing.
Right at the start
What
finish
happened?
line.
Yes, sir. Looks like the 57 of Wally Tierheimer got a little wiggly.
No,
Flipped
actually,
on.
it looks like the... Let me get that number here. Hang on a second.
26
The
of
26
Wesley
came
Howland may have came down just a hair.
That's what I see. It looks like the 26 of Wesley Holland dropped down a little bit, ran into the 27. I'm sorry, 37.
Yeah, it looks like just barely may have came down, tapped Wally just the slightest little bit, and you know, going 200 miles per hour, guys, that's what happens in this.
That is exactly what happened. And when 57 came down, got in contact with the 31 and the 67 and took them boys for a ride. Staying out in front, the survivors of that one, number 21 Sean Zulu, number 66 Edward Bray, 87 Justin Michael, and 26 of Wesley Holland. Wesley Holland does have damage though. He will definitely be heading into pit row.
I'll get him.
We're going to try to get a driver interview while we are under caution. We are on lap 24, 25 under caution. How about it, Mr. Zulu? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, how's your race going on tonight? You and Justin were making a mighty fine move coming up that outside lane. What was that all about?
Oh, our plan is to just get up to the front and stay there so we can stay out of trouble. But I got some damage early on in the race. I got into, one of the drivers got into me there. I managed to get it fixed and save a reset. So now I'm just going to try and, since I'm in the lead, I'm going to try and stay up here if I can.
Yes, sir. I see you did go into pit, so you had to relinquish that number 1 spot, but it appears you should come out top 5 or 6.
Yes, sir. Right behind my teammates.
All right, copy that, and good luck to you, and maybe we'll see you in victory lane tonight in the pad 266.
Thank you, sir.
And we are on lap 26 of pad 266. Our current race leader is number 30, Ed Hewitt. Richie Rose sitting behind him in position number 2.
You know, you say that name, Scott, Richard Brose. He was a lap down, if you recall, correct?
You know, that's what I was struggling with. I was thinking to myself, now he was a lap down. He must have done a really good job getting his truck back up there to the front.
Keeping it clean, that's all it takes.
We are underneath our second caution of the night, lap 26. So far, I had a very good, not a very exciting race going on so far. We do have 28 trucks still on the lead lap. Looks like number 57 caught up in that last accident. He is the first. Nope. Lloyd Saunders in the number 1 will be the first truck lap down, followed by Wally, Patrick, Andrew, Brandon, and James Brown. A lot of good drivers, unfortunately, got caught up into that caution.
Yeah, it looked like it took out about 10 to 11 trucks. Got damage in that accident by my count.
Well, it's a good thing iRacing gives us fast repairs, and as long as you're safe, you know how to work your way through a field or through a wreck, you should be able to get those laps back, hopefully.
Now I am looking at the tailgate of our current race leader, number 30, Ed Hewitt, and it looks like he backed into a telephone pole. I would certainly think he's going to go in and get that tailgate fixed.
I don't know. Damage on the rear end doesn't seem to affect the cars near as much as it does the front end. If there's damage on the front end of the car, I would definitely worry about it.
Yeah, definitely. The front end is more critical, especially when you are out front dealing with those aerodynamics. If you've got a smushed in front end, it's going to be like a drop in a boat anchor.
Well, and that will also tend to affect the temperature of the truck, and then you're going to risk blowing. So definitely, but that tailgate, I don't know. If I'm looking at that tailgate as a driver behind him, I'm thinking, I'm not real fond of pushing a broke truck, whether he can roll or not. So I think Ed Hewitt might not be in a good spot right now.
Well, if you can find a teammate, find somebody willing to work with them, stay on that bumper, you might have a chance, but definitely staying out there is a big risk.
And it's possible that no one's actually told him about the damage to his truck, or he may be trying to save those precious fast repairs for later in the race.
That he might be. Again, we've got that Justin Michael and Sean Zulu lining up in P3 and P5, and I expect a lot out of these boys. You will hear me mention these boys several times throughout the night, and I tell you what, they deserve every bit of chatter they get. These two are an incredible combination.
They are, and they definitely like using that third lane, especially teamed up bumper to bumper, and you'll probably see them do that again here within the next 5 laps or so after the restart.
Yes, sir. Now, to mention a few other of their teammates, Justin, Nathan Sylvia in 22, Sean in 21, 57, Wally Tierheimer, he's on their team. You know, they've really got a great group of drivers put together over there.
That's true. A lot of talent on that team, and I think you're going to see it a lot come to bear, especially in the closing laps.
Yes, sir. Another good team out here. We've got the Nuts in the house tonight. Slug Nuts. Their team consisting of Ed Hewitt, John Hedrick. I see Donald King is in their group. Jason Hughes, Matt Hevener. Again, a great bunch of guys right there, and I fully expect as we move on into the later laps of tonight's event to see these groups trying to really get together. I expect some of them to go in as a group away from the main pack and form smaller packs, getting in and out of pit row, and I think that is a good ticket right there, because if you can take 5 trucks into pit row, and if you make a clean pit stop and you get all those trucks out of pit row as a group under green flag, you'll actually come out in front of the leaders, and if you do it right and the leaders fail on their pit stops, well, guess what? Your group is in the front leading the pack.
Risky business it is, but as we are getting double filed up here, lights are off the pace car around 3 and 4. We're getting ready to go back to green on lap 28, going to 29.
And we've got Ed Hewitt in P1, Richard Brose in P2. Looks like Richard Brose might be laying back just a little bit off Ed. Ed appears to have about a 2-truck length jump. Richie B closing it up a little bit tighter. Pace car is off, and Ed Hewitt is jumping, and he is gone. Major gap in the front. Richie B on the outside. Looks like he got hung out. Justin trying to get up to that number 30 of Ed Hewitt.
Ooh, that could come back to bite him in the butt if those teammates can get lined up.
Ooh,
As
82nd
Justin
drifting
Michael
up.
goes to the outside.
That was a move right there. We've got the 22 trying to get hooked up with Richie B. 21 coming up on that 30. 35 on a dash to the front. Now let's watch to see what the 25 is going to do to Justin, and he decides to push him. And I bet you 10 to 1, Cody. There he goes. I knew that was coming. He ducks down for the lead in front of the number 30, Ed Hewitt.
We'll see if that damage is going to hurt Ed there very much. With Sean Zulu tucked up underneath, it shouldn't hurt too badly, but is that 21 of Sean Zulu going to go up high to try to go past him, get up there with his teammate?
Well, right now we've got the 25, not quite clear for that P1 spot on the inside, staying on the outside with the 22 being pushed on. 35 and the 66, trying to get around the 21 up in that middle lane. I tell you what, that 80, go ahead.
Then it looks like the outside lane's forming up a lot more trucks than the inside lane, so I think you're going to be seeing some moves to make some passes coming up here. They're tightening up, and
we've got the 22 pushing. Richie B passed, not quite yet clear, remaining double file. As we approach lap 31, coming down the backstretch, 87 Justin Michael, battling it out with the 25 of Richard Brose for that lead. Kind of keeping an eye back here on the number 35 of Braxton Proper. I'm not real familiar with this driver, but he appears to be holding his own so far. Getting a little help from the 66.
And once again, we've got a third line forming up already.
Yep, that third line is Johnny Smith in the number 75 being pushed on. Another fine driver, Johnny Smith, in the MSTV Fox pad truck. Braxton Proper coming up in front of Johnny Smith. Trying to make that third lane work. Richie B in the P1 position as we approach lap 33, and we are 3 wide with Braxton and Johnny on the outside lane trying to go to the front.
Looks like Sean Zulu in 21 is going to hop up in that middle lane, try to help out Richie B, get to that lead.
Outside lane with Braxton Proper leading it. They are making ground, tucked up on that wall, trying to get as much side draft as they can.
And while these trucks are racing 3 wide up front, they're actually allowing the trucks that had fallen back, now they're actually giving them enough air, enough of a pull, that they're starting to close the gap as well. So this pack is going to get bigger as the laps go down.
Oh, and right there we were flirting 3 wide, 3 deep. Inside lane of Justin Michael, and the 30 Ed Hewitt seems to be falling apart. Second, third lane, double file. Richie B and Braxton battling it out.
Looks like that Hewitt might be trying to poke his nose out there, trying to get some air, keep that engine cool, keep it from blowing. Richie B is completely clear of that 87. Will he go down? Yes, he will.
He dives down in front of Justin Michael. Touched the apron just a hair. Nice recovery. And we've got the Nathan Sylvia and the 21 of Sean Zulu coming up that middle lane. 3 wide, 2 deep. These trucks are running pretty tight, battling it out up here in front.
You know, it may be 3 wide, but I'm still seeing a lot of give and take, trying to keep this race going green. And there's a
We've got a caution. And the Robert Riley of the number 33 was unfortunately involved in that. And we've got the 33 getting into it with the number 8. Not sure if that was a 33 Robert or the number 8 Andrew. We're going to take a look at it from a different angle.
It actually looks like if you back it up just a hair, looks like the 37 may have came up, had a little bit of a neck code issue somewhere along the line, and then in the ending process ending up getting into the 33 Robert Riley, then into number 1 of Lloyd Saunders.
And that 37 truck is a truck of Patrick Boudin, another driver I'm not real familiar with. You know, this is the nature of the beast here at the speedways. We are going to have cautions, and we are going to bash into each other every now and then. Unfortunately, a lot of good drivers did get taken out on that. Robert Riley doing several 360s as he made contact with Andrew. That is our third caution. We are on lap 35 at the moment. Race leader is Nathan Sylvian, number 22, Sean Zulu, P2, Richie B, P3, Justin, P4. And again, Scott, we keep talking about these top 4 drivers. These names keep coming out over and over and over again. Maybe the ticket here tonight is to get in front and just make sure you stay there.
Well, when I'm driving these races, that's definitely where I like to be. Again, I'd like to have those accidents behind me if at all possible. I don't have trucks checking up in front of me doing crazy things. But we've been averaging a lap, caution about every 12 to 13 laps. So I'm thinking, yeah, whatever you can do to keep your truck safe, be to your advantage.
And in pit row action, we've got the number 72 spinning out. That is Ivan Garcia spinning out in pit row. Now, pit row can get a little slick in there sometimes with all that oil and fuel laying down on that track. You got to be super careful going into pit row. How about it, Nathan? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your race tonight. How are you doing? You're hanging out up there in the front a whole lot tonight, looking pretty good.
Well, I got in one wreck and barely. I used one reset. I'm not sure what happened, but it's been really great. The cautions have been in the back. I don't know what's been happening, but it's been really fun up in the front.
Good, and I see you and your teammates working together. What is your plan as far as pit strategy and tire wear tonight?
More try to stay up front as most as I can and try to avoid the wrecks.
Alrighty, copy that. I appreciate your time, and we'll get you moved back down there with your teammates.
Thank you, Scott.
And then we are on lap 34 of the Racer Pad 266. Our race leader is currently Edward Bray in the 66.
Alrighty, as we've got a few more trucks pitting here, looks like that could just be the lap field, as they are not allowed to pit with the leaders. We are up here with Edward Bray, the number 66, in that beautiful looking pad, purple and black truck, sponsored by, with the KMA emblem on the back.
Amazing showing of the Purple Pride tonight. And here at Pad, that is something we definitely appreciate. And I am definitely seeing a lot of the beliefs of Pad going on tonight, a lot of situational awareness. I don't see a whole lot of distracted driving going on tonight. Everybody seems to be putting on a really good show for our viewing audience.
That's right. Getting distracted on this track at 200 miles an hour can lead to very bad things, so we definitely want to keep those drivers focused.
And again, with the pitting situation going on, I don't know, a lot of guys right now are rolling the dice on whether or not to go in, top off, stay out. You know, there are just so many options right now. Tires, fuel, what to do.
Yeah, running around underneath these cautions can really save you a lot of gas, but are you going to be having enough to make it to the end if you save it and maybe just hop off right here? Maybe to do it on one more stop?
I don't think so. You're still 2 pit stops away, I think. Here.
Well, I have seen one time drivers get 32 laps out of this fuel load here, so it can be done. And I tell you, it is time to start doing some math as we roll towards lap 38.
Well, what we're going to be hoping for is some green flag pit stops within about 30 laps. Hopefully these drivers will keep all those trucks on the track.
Now, if everybody did go in and pit right now, let's see, they would, by my calculations, probably be about 2 laps shy. Now, if you're only planning on doing 1 pit stop, you're going to have to hang out in the back and you're going to have to float and conserve as much fuel as possible. If you're up there in the front, you will not make it.
Oh, definitely not. Up in the front, you're using the maximum amount of gas. You're either pushing somebody or you are being pulled by somebody. You can feather the throttle a little bit, maybe get an extra lap out of it, but not 2 or 3, not at this race pace.
Now you factor in, if there are more pace laps, that definitely will affect that fuel load. You definitely do not burn as much fuel under pace, and we do not want to see that, but that might be a contributing factor to calculate on.
That, and I also think about the drivers that have been taken out in some of these accidents. Now that they are towards the back, maybe there will be fewer cautions. You just can't ever tell at this 2.66 mile speedway.
As the pace car lights are off, we are getting ready and set to go back to green here on lap 38, going to 39.
Our race leader is Edward Bray, in the number 66, sitting beside him, Nathan Sylvia in that number 22. You know, right now these drivers are having butterflies in their stomach and they're sweating and fretting, and we are getting ready to go green and get right back up to 200 miles per hour. Outside lane seems to be closing up a lot more than that inside. Seems to be a big gap there on that inside lane between the 87 and the 25. 87 getting close on that 66 right now, 25 closing up that gap.
And I'm noticing towards the end of the pack there, and the inside lines really kind of spread out. That kind of worries me.
All right, pace car is in.
Edward Bray holding 80 miles per hour up until that green flag has dropped.
And we are off on lap 39. Inside lane forming up very nicely. Outside lane forming up quite nicely. Beautiful start right there.
We've got both lines sitting pretty right now.
Now back there is the Ed Hewitt in the number 30. He is still showing major rear end damage. He is in position 8 at the moment. I'm a little confused as to how that rear end damage is still there. I would have thought he would have gone in for a backup truck.
Yeah, you might want to save those resets still.
Well, he is being pushed on by Jason. And that wreck was on the backstretch.
Looks like one of the main people that may have gotten involved, John Hedrick.
That will bring out our 4th caution. I'm hearing that John Hedrick and number 15 was involved in that. We'll take a look at it. And unfortunately, again, that is one of those things that do happen here at the super speedways. Don't appear to be too terrible of a spin out, but it does happen.
The primary cause of that one looks like it could have been just a tad bit of net code as that number 1 of Lloyd Sanders just barely hopped up, tapped that 15 of John Hendrick.
Yes, sir, and again, that net code is a very dangerous thing. Happened in the corner, does appear the number 1 of Lloyd Sanders did slide up, taking out several trucks tonight.
Well, hopefully they still have a reset left to go into pit road, get it fixed, get back out there. Raceford will lead lap.
Now, right now, that is your only option. Still got a lot of good drivers here in this race. Everybody should still have reset left, and everyone should be still right back out there. And we are heading off for our first commercial break.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Race for Pad 266. I am Scott, your lead announcer here tonight in the booth with Cody and Flash. So tell me about your thoughts on the race tonight, Scott.
Well, so far this race hasn't been too bad. We've seen a lot of good action. We've also seen quite a few cautions, which Talladega tends to bring out in the racers. But all in all, I think if these guys get the nerves out of their system and start holding their lines a little bit more, not doing just weird things, and the net code hopefully leaves the room, I think we're going to have a good run to the finish here.
I agree 100%. We are approaching lap 43. Our race leader right now is Nathan Sylvia, number 22, P2 spot. Braxton Proper in the number 35. Now this is the furthest that Braxton has been up in this pack tonight, so I wonder what he's going to do with it.
Well, I guarantee he's anxious to see what he can do with it, especially considering those lights are off that pace car, and we are getting ready to go back to green flag. Now, we saw quite a few different pit strategies when we were over at commercial break that, may or may not affect the outcome of this race. I mean, I know just about everybody pitted in, but how many people pitted in and thought, well, maybe if we top off, we could make it a little bit further than the leaders?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right there, Cody. They were in there for about 5 laps earlier. They probably took tires. I think at this point, fuel, get a little bit of track position is your best bet.
Now again, we're going to keep an eye on Justin Michael in that 87 and his partner, Sean Zulu, in the 21. These two guys are in different lane start positions, but I guarantee you they're going to do everything they can to hook up as we take this restart.
And I also see that 25 of Richard Grosey sitting right back there in 6th position. Now, Justin Michael and Sean Zulu were the people to help Richard get into the position he was in earlier in the race, which was the lead. Do you think that maybe that will come around and maybe he'll let Sean up in the spot?
Oh, I think so, because here at the Speedway, one thing you do not want to do is irritate your neighbor, because you never know who you're going to need to push on you.
So we got Nathan up there in the front position, 80 miles per hour as that pace car pulled off. He will be going green flag.
And we've got that inside lane with a massive jump. Looks like Edward Brave may have missed a shift. That inside lane off like a rocket ship. 35 of Braxton looked like he wanted to go outside, but he decides to stay down there in line. In 3rd position is Sean Zulu at the 21, being pushed on by Johnny Smith in the 75. And we've got the 87 of Justin Michael going to the middle lane.
His
And
partner 21 is Sean Zulu. Told you they'd get hooked up at some point in time here.
Yes, sir. And Justin and Sean are going to make that middle lane work, and I bet you they're going to go right to the front. Nathan Sylvia holding down that P1 spot with Braxton on his tail. Johnny moving up into 3rd position. And we have got a hard, good race. Drivers hard. 2 wide here. Nobody pressuring on the 3 deep. Sean Zulu with a slight edge over the 22, Nathan.
And on the Speedway, we've got these trucks actually broken up into 2 distinct packs. And 2 names we talked about earlier, Tor Hellebo and Mark Maffett, they're hanging way back at the end of that 2nd pack. Positions like 27, 28. So they are probably trying to keep themselves out of trouble and waiting for the big one, and then they're going to make their move towards the front, towards the end.
Yes, sir. Tor and Mark. Another awesome combination here on the Speedways. I've seen these guys win these events many times. Right now, Tor and Mark are sitting in position 25 and 26. Just hanging back there off that pack, being quite careful.
Yes, sir. Extremely careful they might be right now. But if we look a little bit further up in that field, we still have Sean Zulu leading that outside line, and Nathan Sylvia sitting in that first position, still holding off with Braxton pushing it.
Now that outside lane right now looks to be the most popular. Got a lot of drivers wanting that outside lane rather than that inside lane, but that inside lane in the front is holding strong and holding their own. Seeing a whole lot of teamwork and working together up here in the front. I think these guys know that it's way too early to get real dicey yet.
I definitely think they might be looking at getting into their own little packs here, though. You can see that maximum velocity is still working pretty good up in front.
Now I'm not real sure if Wesley Holland, in the number 26, has got a partner up here on his team. He might be a lone wolf sitting up here as he begins to push on Justin. Sean Zulu down in front of Nathan Sylvia for the lead. I'm sure he was relieving the heat pressure on his partner Justin. I'm sure Justin was burning up, pushing him that hard.
As that side draft goes to work, and he is really taking that side draft to a max, that Justin Michael 87 truck.
Still looking at Ed Hewitt in the number 30 in position 6, still with the caved in tailgate right there. Does not seem to be affecting him as he is is racing Braxton proper for P5 position. Matthew Kolb in the 08 in P8 position, sitting there, waiting, just biding his time. Johnny Smith in the 75, closing that gap up on Braxton on that inside lane. Still a double file.
Looks like we got a truck that might be thinking to make it 3 wide if we can get some help.
And I still think it's awful early for that 3 wide. This front pack staying double file, looking real good.
Front pack is looking real good, and the second pack hanging pretty steadily back here at 5 seconds. They're staying in line. They've got 2 groups going, and I think they're just maintaining pace for right now, hoping for a break here towards the end.
We definitely do want to try to get into some green flag pit stops tonight. I'll tell you what, that is where races are won or lost, because not only do you have to be able to drive straight and turn left at 200, you need to be able to get your vehicle slowed down in and out of pit row. You got to have your crew working together as a team and everybody knowing what they got to do to make it work.
That's definitely true, and it also depends a lot on the driver coming in at the right speed, not speeding, and knowing when to hit his marks, when to get on those brakes and not go too far forward and wind up having to reverse in that pit box. That'll kill your pit stop in a hurry.
Now back up to the front, we do have Braxton in the number 35, bumper to bumper with Nathan in the 22, bumper to bumper with Sean Zulu in the 21. These guys are starting to push hard, and Zulu up back in front of his partner in the 87, Nathan Sylvia, coming underneath number 21, Sean Zulu.
Man, that was a tight move. Really just barely cleared Justin. Justin got a huge run, and that's kind of forced a few people out of line.
And we've got
Ed to get back in line.
And we've got Ed Hewitt in the number 30, stuck in the middle without a partner. As Matthew Kolb and Wesley Holland try to take him on the outside, and then we've got the 25, Richard Brose, hooking back up with Ed Hewitt, making a move back up that middle, trying to get hooked back up with Justin and Sean. And they have got a run going. A lot of 3 wide racing going on as these guys are starting to get a little bit antsy as we approach 52, halfway point of this race. Current race leader is still Nathan Sylvia, battling it out with Sean Zulu for that lead, and we've got trouble. Got trouble with the number 93, and that is Greg Webb getting in trouble in the front stretch.
Oh man, that's a tight one to call. I mean, nobody really moved, nobody really bobbled. It just kind of filled itself up right there.
That definitely involved Greg Webb in the 35 and Wesley Holland in the number 26 being taken to the wall, taken for a wild ride.
Yeah, that 93 Greg Webb, man. He was looking really good, and there was quite a while there where I thought he was going to want to take it 3 wide, but never did. So I don't know. We'll have to see what he does. Maybe get that truck fixed, put it back on up in the positions he was in.
Well, he was being pushed on pretty hard by Ryan Eckstein, but it appears that the 93 of Greg Webb just kind of went right just a little bit. Slight contact with Wesley in the 26, but slight contact leads to big wipeouts.
That's right. It doesn't take much on these super speedways with the speeds they're going to get these trucks out of shape.
Now it does appear that Wesley was able to maintain control of that truck, but he has taken a beating. He will definitely be going in for that backup vehicle tonight. We are underneath our 5th caution of the night here tonight in the race for pad 266. Most drivers right now heading into pit road to get their trucks fixed up and get fuel and tires. Get Ed. And we are going to get a driver up here for a quick driver interview while we are underneath caution. How about it at Hewitt? This is Scott up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Scott. How are we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, sir? How is your race going tonight?
Well, the race has been pretty good. A lot of clean drivers out here. It's just give and take. Just really relaxing here, going from the front to the back to the front. It's just been awesome, Scott. So we've been trying to stay up towards the front there. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff going to happen in the back of the field. I don't know what's going on with there. I guess when you get up against the walls, I see a couple of that times. Drivers up against the wall is like a magnet, so when you get stuck there, the truck likes to come off the wall. But all in all, it's been an awesome race, and I want to thank you for putting this on there through pad or racing there, and awareness and all that going on there. So I really appreciate coming over and racing with you guys.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. Now, tell us, have you got anybody out here tonight you are specifically trying to stay with, teammates or partners?
Nope, I am sure not there, Scott. I mean, I just ride whoever wants to go to the front, or I just stick up wherever, you know what I mean, on the track. I really don't have a partner, so I go with anybody, you know what I mean, that wants to go. If you know, with that restart there, I was going to try to lead a lap, but those two guys are working together, just blew right by me. So, but it's all good, man, you know what I mean? I just up there to have fun and enjoy the racing over here.
Yes, sir, and it is good racing for a great cause tonight in the pad 266. We'll move you right back down where you were and wish you the best of luck tonight.
Hey, thank you very much, Scott.
And once again, our race leader currently is Nathan Sylvia, number 22, Sean Zulu in P2, Braxton Proper in P3, and that was Ed Hewitt, we were just conversing with, in P4. We are on lap 55 tonight, underneath our 5th caution. I want to thank you guys for hanging out tonight with us. Live broadcast by All Pro Broadcasting Network. Such a wonderful job they do over there. Definitely has been an exciting race tonight. We are past the halfway point. Again, we're going to be looking at some serious calculations on pit strategy as this night continues on.
That's definitely true.
Go ahead, sorry.
I said that's definitely true. They've got about 15 laps before they can. They're in their final pit window, so we're going to wait and see what happens here.
And we do have 28 drivers still on the lead lap. Looks like Lloyd Saunders in the number 1 will be the first truck a lap down. Appears that I do believe Wally Terheimer did get the wave around. That'll put him at the lead end of the field.
Or the tail end of the lead pack.
Yes, sir. Taking a look at all these purple painted rims out here, I tell you what, it is so great that the drivers have shown their support for Pad and everything that they do over there. Great thing to see.
Take a look at that number 18 sitting right behind the pace car, right in front of the leaders actually. He will get the wave by once it hits 1 to green, as long as he decides not to go into the pits. Him and Wally Tierheimer.
And that 18 is Travis Browder, another fine young driver. And he is teammates with Wally, so that will be interesting to see what they do. And he is taking the wave around with the 57 of Wally. Now that will get them both back on that lead lap, is that correct?
Yes, it should. And speaking of fuel strategy, I see Mark Maffett and Tor Hellebo have made one final pit stop. You can fill up those trucks with fuel. Looks like they're taking left side tires. A little bit of strategy in play here.
And we are looking like we've got Mr. Sean Zulu back in P1. He has been up there all night. I tell you what, if I were to lay down some money right now, I might have to put it on Mr. Zulu. Amazing driver, and he's got a lot of teammates up there working with him.
Yes, sir, he does. The 22th Nathan Sylvia, I'm sure, would not be afraid to work with him, but again, we saw his main partner of the 87 of Justin Michael, really another great driver.
Yes, sir, absolutely. We got so many great drivers in here tonight. Somebody we have not talked about is Bobby Everhart in the number 71 truck tonight. He is in P8. Another very careful, fine driver. And he is driving the Coma Unwind truck tonight. Going to be quite interesting to see what Bobby Everhart does. He appears to have his teammate, Jason Russo, in the number 32, sitting directly in front of him.
22 of Nathan Sylvia is going. Got a good jump on that restart. Justin Michael hopping up to help out that 21 of Sean Zulu that did not get the greatest of starts, but still nice, clean, easy going.
A couple spots back, had some miscommunication with Ed Hewitt and Jason Russo. It looked like miscommunication. I wasn't quite sure what their plan was. Jason Russo heading up into that middle lane, leaving Ed Hewitt with some gaps that he's going to have to make up some time for. Robert Riley joining that outside lane, pushing on Jason. We are 3 wide in the front. 87 of Justin Michael. Hung out. Nope, they're just swapping. They're swapping. That was an awful early swap right there to do. Johnny Smith joining up with Zulu and Michael on that outside lane, but they lost a lot of time when they did that swap.
May have lost a lot of time, but who knows, that could have been a technical swap, trying to figure out how fast Sean might be able to push Just. Oh, man, and they're wrecking.
Unfortunate.
There was a little bit of mayhem there between the 21 of Sean Zulu and the 71 of Bobby Everhart. Man, that was a good driver, got him taken out.
Unfortunately, that was in the front pack. We had the 37 going airborne viciously.
Quite a few drivers got taken out in that one.
Now taking a little bit of a closer look at it, we did have Zulu pushing hard on his partner there and gave him just a little bit of a bump, a little bit too hard of a bump, and got loose. Unfortunately, that is what happens at these speedways.
Looked like just a little bit of a sort of a reverse bumper hook on that one. That was it was tight racing all the way around though.
Now a little bit further back, we had Travis Browder, and the number 18 could not get his vehicle slowed down fast enough, making contact
he just
with
got
Andrew.
that lucky dog too.
Sure, and Andrew took the worst part of that hit up against the wall.
Yeah, cautions are very dangerous around here. It looked like that second pack when the Patrick Bodine of the 37 went airborne. He was still doing 189 miles an hour when he ran into Bobby Everhart's 31 truck, so you definitely got to look for your escape routes.
And looking at our current race leader, once again, it is still Nathan Sylvia and the number 22, Braxton Proper, holding his own up there. In P2, Ed Hewitt, and the number 30 in position number 3. And we are on lap 59, up here in the booth with Jason Russo. How are you doing tonight, Jason?
Doing pretty good there, Scott. How you guys doing up there?
Oh, we're having a blast up here watching you guys race it out. I'm seeing you're getting your Pro Automotive truck up there into the front. You're sitting in P4. What is your plan as far as pit stops?
I'm planning on going in around 72. Hopefully make a run to the end from there. Had a plan to bring a few teammates in with me, but that kind of got squashed on this last caution. So we'll see if we can't get a couple guys to go in with me and see what we can do.
Yes, sir. Looking at the top 10, it appears you've got your teammate Richard Brosey back there with you in P9, but other than that, you kind of look like you're on your own up there. Have you got what it takes?
Yeah, we'll try. We'll get this KMA Pro Automotive Chevrolet up to the front and see where we come out.
Alrighty, copy that, and we'll get you back down into your group, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
And we are on lap 60 of the Race for Pad 266 live broadcast by All Pro Broadcasting. Race leader Nathan Sylvia doing an outstanding job tonight. We are underneath our 6th caution. A lot of tight racing going on tonight. Tire wear not really seeming to be too much of an issue. I'm not seeing a lot of slipping and sliding going on. Mostly just hard drafting.
Hard drafting is close drafting, and the closer the drafting you can get, the faster your car's going to be, but it means a lot less wiggle room too, so you need wiggle room in order to, sneeze or anything.
Yes, sir. Now taking a look back in the field a little bit at Gary Whitmer Jr. in the number 5 purple pad truck. He is in P14. Driver we haven't talked a bit about tonight, but he is definitely holding his own, and I think we will see number 5 of Gary making his way to the front after our next cycle of pit stops. I think right now so many drivers that are in the back are just going to sit back and play that fuel window, and if the caution does come out again, and if they're clear, they can get in there, get that fuel, and then they're going to start to get real busy in the remaining 30 laps.
Yeah, I think that strategy is definitely going to come into play here. We got 40 laps to go approximately. I've seen Mark and Tor Hellebo going in, topping off, taking more tires. I think these guys are getting ready to make a move here in the next 20 laps or so, get their way to the front.
Now, speaking of Mark Maffett in the number 67, he is back in position 20th with Sean Zulu and Tor. And they've got Wally sitting back there in position 23. These 4 guys could really work together and get a 4-truck train going and get all 4 of them right up to the front.
Yeah, I've definitely been watching these guys work together in the second pack. They had a 6-train truck going here earlier. I fully expect to see that in the future of this race.
Now we are on lap 60 with 40 to go. We are looking, we're not quite within pit window, but for those drivers that did take any wave buys or anything like that within the last couple of cautions, they are more than likely going to top off, in which I see quite a few drivers that did. So see if that plays into the strategy, maybe taking a little bit less fuel and maybe making it a little bit quicker on the final pit stop.
Yeah, I definitely think that's first and foremost on their minds. They're getting their tire situation all squared away, so that final pit stop, all they have to do, top that tank off and hit the gas.
Yes, sir. And now dropping back, having mentioned Donald King tonight, another fine driver, showing his purple Support 4-pad. Donald King, he himself can be a force to be reckoned with. He's a quiet driver, but those last few laps, you're going to see him in your rearview mirror, and then you're going to see him overtaking you.
Well, that's just it. You're going to see him in your rearview mirror, but it ain't going to be for very long. He will work his way past you one way or another.
Yes, sir, he definitely will. Great driver, Donald King is. Trucks are lining up, double file. Now, as we do get closer to that 100-lap mark, these restarts, I think they're going to get a little bit more aggressive. Drivers fighting to stay in front as we edge towards that final pit stop of the night.
Yeah, this is definitely not the time that you want to lose ground to the leaders. You want to be up there and be in a position, if not to overtake, but be ready to make your move when the time comes.
And that time is definitely coming. Still hoping to see some green flag pit stops tonight. It's always a blast to watch these trucks pull into pit row 5 wide. Sometimes they are not quite so successful, and we'll see somebody spinning out in pit row with all that oil and fuel down there on that track.
Well, especially coming off of an extremely warm surface, going onto a not so warm surface that has absolutely no rubber in, it can be quite hectic and a lot of misery at the same time. So missing that pit stop really is going to kill somebody if they don't make it right.
Appears we still have one more caution lap to pull around here. No.
At 22, Nathan Sylvia got a good start, but Braxton Proper just barely edging ahead of him.
And we've got bumping in the front on the Ed Hewitt. Looks like Ed had a little contact there in the front with Jason Russo in the 32. Minor damage. Trucks are still rolling.
Speaking of minor damage, it looks like Ed Hewitt still has a little bit of rear end damage from, 40, 50 laps ago.
Yes, sir, he does. And we saw Justin Michael in the 87 jump up into that middle lane, but it appears he might get hung out as the top four begin to pull away. Nathan Sylvia holding strong up there. Being pushed on by the 30 of Ed Hewitt. Back in position 6, we've got Justin Michael and Johnny Smith beginning to make a move back up to the front. I expect them to go 3 wide when they get up there too. Jason Russo. And there they go. Justin and Johnny Smith taking it 3 wide.
Boy, did Jason Russo get hung out to dry right there. He got passed on the outside as Braxton decided to dump down into the inside line, getting that help from Nathan Sylvia.
Yes, sir, but we've got Robert Riley in the number 33 coming up to give reinforcements to that middle lane. Johnny and Justin out in front on the outside. It'll be interesting to see what Justin Michael does. Not clear of Jason. And here comes Robert and Jason out the middle, being pushed on by Matthew. 3 wide in the front for the lead. Some really great racing going on up here in the front. Jason Russo ducking down in front, and we've got contact with the 33 and the 87. Robert Riley and Justin Michael making contact. Appears that Robert Riley in the number 33 drifted up just a hair into Justin Michael. Taking a hard hit into the 75, Matthew Kolb caught up into it. Bad aftermath. Trucks not being able to get their trucks slowed down enough, and carnage erupts.
Yeah, real bad aftermath. Still can't believe the hits that those people have taken. I mean, Matthew getting up on that wall, and then all of the trucks that get piled up into it afterwards, not being able to slow it up. It just got a lot of cars caught up in one.
It appears we might have had 10 to 12 trucks tonight caught up into that, and still going on in the back a little bit. You know, when that smoke is out there, Cody, it is so hard to see what is going on in front, and oftentimes you just kind of close your eyes and hang on for the ride. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Well, usually you hit the brakes too, but at the same time, hitting your brakes, that's a risky move in itself, just because of all the drivers that don't hit their brakes can cause quite a bit of mayhem.
Yes, sir. Tough brakes right there for a lot of these drivers tonight. 6 caution, I believe, on lap 65.
35 of Braxton just turned himself around in pit road as Jason Russo is the only one not to pit, going to pit lane this time.
Now that is going to be an interesting move on Jason Russo. He wants to keep up there in that lead, but we heard him recently say that he's going to probably go in on about lap 70. Now, if my math is correct, and he does go in under caution here, he may have enough fuel to get the job done.
Ooh, enough fuel, you might make it if you top off. Just because of the amount of laps that iRacing provides under these cautions, you might have enough to make it, but you're going to be close one way or another.
Well, and unfortunately, here at the Speedway, those are the risks that you are going to have to take. As they say, no guts, no glory. And we're going to try to get another driver up here in the booth, get one more driver interview in for the evening. How about it, Jason Hughes? This is Scott up in the booth. How you doing?
Not too bad, buddy. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Talk to us about your race and your night tonight.
Man, it's been kind of crazy. Kind of early on, went a lap down. Was lucky enough to get the lucky dog, and I've just been trying to work my way through the field and stay out of trouble here.
Yes, sir. Now, you are currently sitting in P5 spot. You're going to have to start doing some math concerning your pit stops. Are you going to stay out? You're going to top off? How's it going to work out for you?
Well, I just topped off now. I'm thinking if we get another quick yellow, I might come in top off one time, but I think I might be able to make it from here. I'm not 100% yet.
Now, I have seen these trucks get 32 laps, but it takes a lot to get 32 laps, so you would definitely be taking a gamble, not counting on one more pit stop.
Well, if I can get another yellow to fly and stay out here and kind of save fuel, I think I might be able to squeeze it in. And it's worth a try to get a victory here at the pad.
Yes, sir. Now, I assume you've got some teammates in here. Tell us who you're working with tonight.
Well, I've been trying to work with my buddy Wesley Holland, but he just got caught up in that mess, so I think I might be out here by myself just trying to make things happen myself.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and I hope to maybe see you up there in Victory Lane tonight, and we'll get you moved back down to your buddies.
All right, thank you, sir.
And we are on lap 68 of the race for Pad 266. Our current race leader is the number 22, Nathan Sylvia. P2 spot, Ed Hewitt in the number 30. Jason Hughes currently in number 3. And in number 4, Greg Webb. We haven't heard a lot about Greg Webb tonight, but he's not doing too bad sitting in P4.
You know, he did just get caught up in that wreck, what was it, 10 laps ago, somewhere around there. But I believe he is back, and he probably is there to stay, too. He is in 4th position, so he is on that outside line. He can make it 3 wide as long as it's after the backstretch. Well, it'll be interesting to see what he decides to go off and do.
It'll be very interesting, but I tell you, again, we talked about partnership earlier. I'm not sure if Greg Webb has anybody in here working with him. I'm not sure if the number 5 spot of Jay Doggart has teammates. These two guys just might get hung out. I know we've got Wally up there, and he's going to be bucking to get up there with Nathan and Ed. We've got Ivan, who's going to probably be working with Craig Kinney. And Mark and Tor seem to have about a 4-truck spread between the two of them. It'll be interesting watching them two guys get hooked back up.
Yeah, Tor took a little bit of damage in that last accident, truck rolling off the steep 33-degree banking out here at Talladega. Marco was able to get through that accident by just going through the grass, doing a little bit of lawn mowing. And you were talking about Jason Russo and his plan to stay out a little bit earlier. Well, it turns out Jason's ducked into pit lane, filled up, took 4 tires. I think he's getting ready to go all the way to the end.
Yes, sir, and every driver who just did pit, if this thing goes caution-free, they will have enough fuel to make it. We are getting down to crunch time. We are on lap 69. This is where it's going to start to get really interesting.
You know, you say you can make it from lap 32. I'm thinking you might be a little bit short. I don't know.
I have seen it done one time, Cody. One time I have seen it done, 32 laps. I can't do it. I don't know how they did it, but I did see it.
I've seen it, but coming from the back, you're going to be pushing on that throttle pretty hard. I think you're going to use just a little bit too much fuel. He's going to be hoping for another caution lap or two, I think, and he's going to kind of sneak his way up there.
Now, we currently do have 22 drivers still on the lead lap. I'm showing Andrew Schulte in the number 8 being the first truck a lap down. And at this point in time, do you hang back if you're in that lucky dog spot? Do you want to push your way up to the front? You got decisions to make. What are you thinking, Cody?
Oh, decisions. There are so many to be thinking about right now, especially while you're getting set to go 1 to green. What are you really thinking about here? I mean, obviously you've got a lot of teammates around you. You got a lot of numbers you're thinking about. I mean, 200 miles per hour. You get roughly 2.25 laps per gallon of gas. So I don't know. Pace car is off, and we are getting set.
Taking a close look at this number 30 in the lead, Ed Hewitt, being challenged by Greg Webb and Jay Dargett and Wally, top 4. Wally is a madman right now. He is pushing hard. He knows that it is go time.
Boy, in the 75 truck of who is that? Johnny Smith. Did not get a good restart, and he really bunched up that second pack.
And that is definitely something that you do not want to happen on these restarts. Jason Hughes challenging Ed Hewitt, being pushed on by Jay Dargett. Outside lane, Foreman Good, Ivan Garcia, and the number 35 of Braxton.
As that second pack is starting to form up, not only form up, but close up to that first initial bigger pack. Outside and inside line, 2 lanes, running real clean, real deep, and now we got the 26 going to the middle line, right outside of Andrew Schulte.
Ed Hewitt holding that inside lane down, 3 trucks running bumper to bumper. And they are 3 wide, a little bit further back.
Looks like Edward Bray jumped up in front of the 26 and is now moving himself forward.
And that's a good thing to do right now. We are going 3 wide. We could possibly be 4 wide here, gentlemen. Edward Bray on that outside and making a move. Got Johnny Smith on the tail end of that 3 truck train in that outside lane, and we are 3 wide, 6 deep. A lot of exciting racing going on up here in the front, and that outside lane, we got trouble in the very front. We got trouble with the leaders. Unfortunate up there in the lead pack. Appears we had Braxton pushing a little bit too hard on Ed Hewitt, sending him sideways into number 58 and up into Edward Bray. Unfortunate break for Edward and Jason and Greg and Jay and Edward.
And everybody else in the lead pack. I don't see any trucks that really were not affected by that accident, other than Mark Maffett and Tor Hellebo that were a 2-car tandem in the back here. They hit the brakes, no one around them. They looked to be safe.
Unfortunately, that was a wicked. That was the big one, as we call it. Now, taking a little bit of a closer look at it, I'm not so sure that Ed Hewitt might have been the man at fault on that one there. That's some tight racing right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of tight racing. You know, guys, we've had a lot of bigger wrecks here within the last couple cautions. Are we going to have anybody left out here to race? I mean...
Well, I certainly hope so, but, you know, oftentimes these super speedway series, it's not all about speed. It is sometimes, unfortunately, about survival, because we are going to bump, we are going to grind, and oftentimes the guy in the back that's just playing it safe and kind of riding around, you'll see him in victory lane sometimes.
Well, you know that Jason Russo guy that we were talking about earlier, he's doing pretty good right now.
Got a lot of drivers that are doing real good right now, but unfortunately, again, this is a speedway, and it's going to happen. Taking a look at Edward Bray, rolling into pit row. He's got some major damage. I hope he's got a backup truck left.
And speaking of backup trucks, Ed Hewitt still has not chosen to use one of his, it looks like. That's interesting.
He's
Well,
been driving with a beat-up tailgate all night long, but it's working out for him.
Well, just went in, got that quick repair, and apparently he really needed it too.
Right now, we are on lap 74 of the race for Pad 266, and we have a new race leader for the night, 93 of Greg Webb. Let's see if we can get Greg up here into the booth. How about it, Greg? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm seeing you're out there in position 1. Tell us what's on your mind tonight.
I'm trying to figure out how I got up here.
Well, obviously, with a fast truck, it's smart moves. Did you get through that last caution there? Did you get any damage? Have you got enough fuel?
Yeah, we got enough fuel there, and yeah, we snuck by the. We seen them the accident taking place, so we just kind of went to the inside there to try to get away from it, and we got lucky.
All right. And have you got any teammates or anybody you're working with or trying to get hooked up with in the remaining 25 laps?
Well, Ryan next time, but I think he got caught up in a little bit of accident caution before that there, so kind of up here solo.
Alrighty. Well, I'm sure you'll find somebody out there because everybody needs a partner on the speedway. We'll get you back to where you were, and good luck to you tonight.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I'd like to thank KMA and Pad and my partner with High Tech Racing, Brian. I appreciate you tonight.
Yes, sir, and good luck to you.
And in breaking news, Ed Hewitt finally gets his first backup truck. He's looking nice and square and in race to the finish.
Alrighty, well, he is good to go then. Really exciting race we got going on. We are on lap 75. Greg in position 1. Jay Doggart in position 2. Braxton Proper holding his own tonight, doing very well in P3. Richie B in P4. James O. Brown representing Cora tonight in P5. And again, there's that name, Tor Helebo. He's making his way to the front. It is go time.
You know, I'm taking a look at that 35 Braxton Pryor. He has a little bit of front end damage. Guys, front end damage. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and we don't like that stuff.
No, what that's going to do is if he starts pushing on a truck, he's not going to be getting a whole lot of air. It's hard enough to get air when you're pushing, but then you put in a crinkled up front end and your truck's just going to get hot. You got to back it down. You're going to risk blowing that engine up. You definitely do not want to drive these vehicles with a beat up front end.
It's going to be a rough ride, but sitting in third, we'll see if he can get hooked up with the 24, maybe get to the outside line. I don't know if he wants to be where he wants to be right now, because it's going to be putting him in a very sticky situation one way or another.
I expect this restart we are going to be coming up to momentarily to be probably one of the best restarts of the night. Again, I'm mentioning go time, and we are looking, it is just time to get it going and get down to the brass tacks and put that hammer down. I'm not so sure if I was out there right now if I'd be doing much more checking up. We got to get to the front.
Yes, sir. 25 to go, 24 to go. You're going to be looking at really some very hairy moves, more or less, but hopefully as long as we are able to keep those hairy moves clean, should be able to maybe keep it away from those cautions.
Yes, sir, and we are currently looking at 22 drivers on the lead lap. Ryan Eckstein is that 22nd driver. Wesley Holland in the number 26, first truck a lap down.
So how many resets is too few? What lap do we go on? I mean, where are we going to start this?
I know if I was out there, I'm not sure if I'd want that outside lane or inside lane. What do you think, Scott? Right now, do you want to be out in that middle lane, or do you want to keep it on the inside and guard it?
With 25 laps to go, it's hard to say. I might be playing a little bit safe until about 10 laps to go, and then I want that outside lane. That outside lane, keep your momentum going. The inside lane tends to get past, but you do have more escape routes if there's another one of these big accidents.
accordance with that outside lane, we also got that middle lane. And when they go 3 wide, tonight I have seen that middle lane getting dumped a lot. I guess that middle lane, nobody wants to be in it.
No,
No,
that
I
middle
think
lane, you got no escape.
I think there's more partners that are trying to play it safe on that inside line. I mean, the middle lane, I believe, could probably be a little bit faster. Pace
And
car
we-
is off.
Green flag, green flag.
And the inside lane did not go to number 24, Jade Dargot. They have missed a gear right there, jacking up that middle lane. Inside lane off like a rocket ship, being led by Greg and Braxton. Off to
Yeah.
a real good start here.
Yeah, that front end damage, he's probably got that engine cooled down during those caution laps, but like you said, they'll start heating up pretty fast. We'll see how long he can push.
And we've got the 3 wide foreman.
3 wide already. We are only a half a lap in off that last caution.
And we've got Richie Brose being pushed by the number 4 to the front, challenging Greg Webb. Again, that Tor, he is a fighter, and he is going to take somebody to the front with him.
You know, I'm looking at that field in chopper view. You've got Tor up there. You've got Jason up there. You've got Mark Maffett up there, and Craig Kenny. I mean, these are people we've been saying are going to be up there by the end of this race, and, you know, 20 to go. You know, we're looking at, hello, darling. They are there.
That outside lane running bumper to bumper. Actually holding a very straight line. They're looking really good.
They are, but that when you start getting 3 trucks pushing on all together, that truck in the middle of the sandwich, he might be going for a ride.
It appears Richie Brose lost a little bit of momentum right there, not going to be able to take the lead. Yeah, but he's coming back. I may have spoken too soon, challenging Greg for that P1 spot. A little bit of bumper scraping going on right there, a little bit of side swiping.
Sideswiping and just lost a little bit of momentum on that inside line, but
Oh, that 32 right there, that was a little scary with Jason Russo, and Richie was up in the front, got a little bit loose. These
That was
guys
very
have got
heads
to stay focused.
Real heads-up driving by Jason Russo, getting on the brakes there when Tor Hellbow came down on him there.
All right, we've got 3 wide, a couple spots back.
And it looks like Jason Hughes and Wesley Holland are forming up that 3rd line in the back. We'll see if anyone jumps up in front of them. I have a feeling maybe Mark or Jason, if that train gets any steam with it, they might jump in front and try riding it to the front.
Well, back in the front, these guys are running very tight. Not a whole lot of space between these door jams. Still got Richard Brose, our current race leader, challenging Greg Webb.
58 got a little loose, got into the wall. Looks like he's okay though.
And we have the caution. And we're going to take a look at that. We are under caution.
That looks like it was started back there with Ivan Garcia in the 72 truck, going up a little bit, catching, it looks like Edward Bray in the 66.
you know, guys, I don't think that's what caused the caution.
Well, what I'm looking at is Ivan did indeed come up into Edward Bray of the 66. A lot of trucks going spinning right there, going for a ride.
Looks like Mr. Hughes was collected in that. Sean Zulu.
We had Justin Michael in the 87 being collected up into it as well. Unfortunate break for the Zulu-Michael combination.
Boy, and Sean just could not stay off the spinning Ivan. He had that truck locked up, wiggling it side to side. He did everything he could, but there was just nowhere to go.
No, sir. At that point in time, you were just hanging on for the ride. A lot of good drivers got caught up in that melee right there. Hopefully they've got resets left. We are on lap 81 of the race for pad 266. And we are heading off for another commercial break, and we'll be right back with you momentarily.
What a move. Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
And we are back for the race for pad 266. We are on lap 83. Our current race leader is the number 93, Greg Webb. Braxton Proper holding his own in P2. Richard Brose in the number 25 in position 3. Tor Helebo pulling up the number 4 spot, and Cora's James O. Brown in the 00. We are underneath our 10th caution of the night, broadcasted live by Michael DeMicchio and All Pro Broadcasting Network.
Boy, it has been a long race tonight. I wouldn't say a caution fest, but it's definitely getting to that point. You know, we've had 9 cautions, a few too many, a few more than what we like to see, but we're looking here 83 laps completed, 84 laps completed. What are we going to do to make this thing caution-free to the end? Are we going to try to punish our way up there and see if we can get up there with maybe 10 to go? What are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking it is go time, and if I'm up there in the front, I'm going to probably try to stay down on that inside lane. Now I know my partner here, Scott, he would probably prefer that middle lane. That's the driver's preference right there. But now, if you're back there in position 10, it's a whole different ball game. You're going to take whatever lane is going to get you to the front.
Yeah. I would prefer the outside lane, but when you start getting back there in traffic, it's like you say, it's whatever you can take, because the traffic, they're going to be bumper to bumper. You're not going, might not even have an option to change lanes.
And indeed, you know, a little heavy on the cautions, but I'll tell you what, I would have it no other way. I do not want these drivers tonight, and I know our viewing audience does not want to see these drivers just laying back and not doing nothing. That's a mighty boring race right there. And when you put 43 great drivers in here like what we have tonight, they're going to race, and they're going to race hard, and nobody's going to lay back, and unfortunately, there will be a caution under those terms. But we've got a lot of great drivers in here, and we are definitely hoping that the remaining 15 laps go caution-free.
Absolutely, as the lights are off the pace car and off around the track, we're getting set and ready to go green here. Hopefully for the last time tonight, we will have our final restart. No, hopefully. Greg Webb leading that inside line. Baxter Pryor sitting on that outside line.
Now again, we're going to keep an eye on Mark and Tor. Mark is in P8 and Tor is in P4. I fully guarantee these two drivers are going to get hooked up within 2 laps, and they are going to be going to the front.
Looking to the other side of things, Jason Ruscio. And more than likely, I'd almost be saying Craig Kenny might be looking at each other. But I do believe that Richie B is also in that mix somewhere. Pace car is off. We are getting set and ready to go to green. And green flag is waving. They are picking up speed.
Nice, clean double file start up in the front. Keeping an eye on Tor Halebo being pushed on by Jason Ruscio, and I thought they were going to go that outside lane. I think they still might go that outside lane.
Mark Maffin catching some of that inside draft up there in that front pack. Maybe dipping back out into that outside line. Yes, he will. Pushing Jason.
And right now we've got 4 in the middle and 3 on the inside. 4-on-3 matchup going. Number Wally Tierheimer in the 57 getting up into that middle groove. Getting on Mark in the 67. Doesn't appear that James Brown is really pushing up on Richie B too hard.
You don't want that third car pushing too hard, or else the sandwich effect will kind of punt him out of the way.
Alrighty, and in the front we've got Jason Ruscio pushing Tor up to the front, and Mark hanging right back there on his bumper with Wally. I'm telling you, this 4-truck lane in this middle here, they are going to rock their way up there to the front.
They're certainly going to, and as Richie B looks like he's coming up a little bit high on that middle lane, but dips right back down low.
I'm thinking that inside lane might be starting to fall apart. That outside lane definitely seems to be hooked up. A little further back.
Now we got a third lane forming with Craig Kenny, Nathan Sylvia, and Ed Hewitt in that brand new truck.
Yes, sir, and I guarantee you that Ed and Nathan are trying to get up there to their partners. But that middle lane is 5 strong, and I do not think that they're going to take it over.
They might not be able to take it over, but they're definitely going to try to give them a run for their money. We're coming down the back stretches. They're going to get plenty of side draft, and we're wiggling just a little bit.
Got a lot of bumper scraping going on here. Just about 4 wide there. Right now our race leader is Tor, battling it out with Braxton, Jason Ruscio, and Mark in the mix up there, as well as Wally and Richie B. And that third lane being led by Craig Kenny in the number 22. They are coming.
Now they've got help. They got Justin Michael. They got Sean Zulu joining their line.
And
they're 5 wide.
They are wide. Oh boy, this is going to get scary. Little contact. Braxton and Mark having contact.
They all come out of it cleanly. Way to go, guys. That is amazing.
Now that 35 Braxton doing some lane jumping right there, leaving the 4 stranded on that inside lane. Hooked right back
down,
up.
helping him out. Mark Maffin now pushing Jason Ruscio, and Ruscio getting another partner coming down in front of him, Craig Kenny.
That was a dramatic move by Craig Kenny, but it worked out.
Boys, can you tell it's coming down to the closing of the race? Because I certainly can.
Oh, this is good stuff right here. We are 3 wide across the board in the front.
13 laps to go.
Craig and Jason in the middle working together, challenging Tor and Braxton on the inside, and Nathan and Ed Hewitt on that outside. And Mark in the 67 stuck in the middle. Richie B in the 25 coming up on that inside lane. He's not out of this yet.
Oh, he's going to get some good draft off of Craig Webb, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to that middle lane if he gets a chance. But that middle lane is really being held on by Craig and Jason. They're really doing a nice job on holding into that middle lane. Looks like Nathan Sylvia and Ed Hewitt are going to drop back down into that middle lane to maybe help them out a little bit.
I've been keeping an eye on Braxton here, sitting in P2 position, I believe, at the current moment. And he is doing some serious side drafting with Jason.
Looks like all of 3 wide is pretty well gone now, back down to 2x2 all the way back.
But we are coming up on 9 to go.
Oh, spoke too soon. Nathan Sylvia jumps out there. Let's see if anyone goes with him. Looks like Ed Hewitt's going with him.
And that third line once again is forming. It is go time. Right now, Tor is in P1 spot, being pushed on by Braxton.
Man, it just does not look like they've got the power to get it going, and they are going to be forced to that outside line as Braxton is now going to be passed 3 wide.
And what did I tell you? We've got Mark and Tor hooking up. Big three wide right there with Braxton stuck in the middle.
That's right. Braxton tried to jump up into that middle lane, thought someone was going to go with him. Instead, Mark Maffitt ducked underneath of him and took and just plugged the hole. Couldn't do anything.
Oh, and we're 3 wide all over the place right here. Everybody getting a little bit anxious. That outside lane forming hard.
Man, we had 1 lap to cool down. Now we're right back at it. These guys are going hardcore, doing whatever they can to try to get their cars up to the front right now.
Oh yes, sir. They are bumper to bumper, and nobody is out of this yet. Keeping an eye on Johnny Smith, number 75, awesome driver. He's in a good spot with 8 to go.
On the top lane, you got another voice. Our driver, Greg Webb, being pushed by Nathan Sylvia, and you got Ed Hewitt.
I'll tell you what, guys, this is how tight the field is. Top 14 are less than a half a second away from each other.
Yes, sir, this is what we pay to see. This is what we like to see here in this race for Pad 266. Current race leader is still Tor. Can he hang on to that lead? And we've got trouble with Nathan Sylvia in the number 22. Taking a hard spin.
It looks like Ed got into the left rear quarter panel of Nathan there and sent him for a ride.
Now, fortunately, our top 5 or 6 drivers, they were not caught up into that. Further back in the field, not quite so lucky.
It looks like Wally Tierheimer got a little bit of damage along with the 00 of James O'Brien. He just barely got pushed into it. Looks like John Hendrick may have gotten a little bit of damage, but really got lucky that that was not bigger than what it was. These guys were really pushing it.
Yes, sir. Unfortunate break there for Nathan and Ed. I'm pretty sure they're teammates and we're working together.
I wouldn't put any blame on Ed for that one. I know what happened. I saw it. The 22. Well, it was the sandwich effect that we talked about earlier. Ed was pushing on the 22 of Nathan Sylvia, who was pushing on Greg Webb. They sandwiched him. Nathan slid up and got the 30 of Ed Hewitt got sucked into that hole, and then Nathan came down on him.
Now this is definitely going to be a game changer. We're going to be going into green with a 4-lap shootout, maybe?
4 or 5 laps, yep, that's what it looks like.
Now, what does that actually mean? Put those 4 laps into perspective for me, Cody.
4 laps, 4 minutes. It may seem like an eternity, but realistically looking at it, we've already gone 93 laps. You take out the caution laps, you're not looking at any time at all. I mean, you can move your way back from the back all the way to the front, but I'll tell you what, you lose that pack now, you are not going to get it back.
Now, hopefully we will finish this under green flag conditions, but I do not think that anybody that's probably further back than position 7, I don't know, it just might be not their night tonight. We had mentioned early on about keeping an eye on certain drivers, and sure enough, we've got Tor Halebo in the number 4, sitting in P1 spot. His partner, Mark Maffitt, another name we had mentioned, he's in P4. So we're going to look for these 2 guys definitely to get hooked as soon as possible. Craig Kinney in the number 90. He'll probably be trying to get to his teammate, Jason Ruscio, or Richard Brosey in the 32 and 25, and they are in position 5 and 6. A lot of decisions to be made right now.
I'll tell you one guy that I am very impressed with, Richard Brosey, he got a lap down earlier on in this race and came back and drove out front just about the entire time. I've watched that guy from lap 1, and he has been absolutely fantastic to ride along with.
Decision to go low there was the key one.
How about it, Mark Maffitt? If you got a copy. 10-4. We got you up here in the announcer booth. We stated early on when we started lap 1 tonight that we were going to be looking at 2 drivers, Mark and Tor. And my goodness, look at Mark and Tor right now. Have you guys got this cat in the bag?
I'd feel a lot better being in the bag if we were 1 and 3 instead of 1 and 4 here. So no, it's still a little iffy as to whether we can get it for Tor. That's been my goal since the last restart, to get up there and try and help him. I think he's still got a real good shot, but it's not over yet.
Yes, sir, and we're going to keep our camera angles glued to you guys up there in the front. This is an amazing top 5 up there. You're also going to have to contend with Craig Kinney in the number 90 and Jason Lucio in that number 32. So you've got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, 10-4. Been a pretty good race up here, Jason and others.
All right, and good luck to you.
Thank you, buddy.
And we are on lap 95, closing down on the final laps here tonight. Been a little bit of a rough night tonight for some drivers, but we have definitely had some great moments of 3 wide, 9 deep action here.
That's right, and it's only going to get better. So these last 4 laps, it's just going to be a straight shootout. So I think you're going to see some 3 wide right off the bat, right in the backstretch, and some risky maneuvers coming in here.
Oh, definitely. And it's going to be very interesting to watch what certain drivers do. Greg Webb, again, I'm not sure if he's got an actual partner out there. I know Craig Kinney, mighty fine driver, but I'm not so sure that he's going to be dedicated to anybody in particular other than the guy to get him to the front. That's going to be interesting to watch out.
You know, I find it very interesting. You guys keep saying on the backstretch and everything like that on the restart. You know, 3 wide is one of the KMA rules. Guys, what is KMA? Why are we supporting it?
The 3 wide, you know, we definitely frown upon the 3 wide on the start. What I really encourage drivers to do on those restarts, give it a lap. I actually encourage drivers to keep the 3 wide down until about lap 15 or 20, because I really put a lot of emphasis on pit stops. And the pack racing is great, but I myself, I do not like to be in a filled pack with 35, 40 guys surrounding me. I like to get it out into the smaller packs. And with that 3 wide on the start, it's just, in my opinion, it is a complete recipe for disaster. But with 4 to go, we're going to see it for sure.
Oh, definitely. You can tell the excitement in Craig Kenny's truck. He jumped into that second lane just as soon as it was ready. He's ready to go.
Now we are on lap 96, so we should be approaching Wintergreen. So 2-lap shootout, 3-lap shootout.
4 laps.
4 laps. Going to be a lot of fun right here. Once again, our race leader currently is Tor Helebo. 2nd position, Craig Kinney. 3rd position, Greg Webb. Mark Maffett in number 4, and Jason Lucio in number 5. Awesome top 5 right there.
Definitely. And I would not be surprised if Tor gets a good start. If he gets up there in front of Craig Kenny, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he jumped up there and let Craig do the pushing for him.
That would actually be a very smart thing to do. But again, I know Mark and Tor, and they're very dedicated to one another. So if these 2 guys can get hooked up, even with 1 lap to go, they're going to bring it home tonight.
You know, you can't count everybody out of the field, because I'm still looking back. Jason Russo's back there, Richie B, they've been patient, they've been ready. Greg Webb, I would not be surprised if he gets hooked up with somebody. I mean, a lot of these drivers are set and ready to go green flag racing for the last 5 laps. Pace car is off.
This is going to be an awesome restart here.
You see Greg already on Tor's bumper. Here we go.
And they are off. And Tor getting a good bump.
Oh, we have an accident already.
That is what we did not want to see.
Looks like Jay Dargert was trying to make a lane change, and Ivan Garcia seemed to be in the lane already.
Yes, sir. And that does not work.
Nope, I take that back. I take that back. It was the other way around. It looks like Mr. Garcia decided to come down a little bit, and Jay happened to be occupying that piece of real estate.
unfortunate. Now, I do not know if that will actually seal this race tonight.
That's a good question. If everyone stays out, we make it a one-lap shootout.
And those one-lap shootouts, they are very exciting to watch. Our current race leader remains Tor Helebo. Greg Webb still in number 2, Greg Kenny in number 3, and Jason still in number 4. Not much of a position change for the top 5. Unfortunate break for a lot of drivers right there. But it has still been a very good race. Had a lot of fun. A lot of great looking trucks out here tonight showing their Sport 4 pad.
I have a feeling that would be the accident that seals the deal.
Now, if that is the case, we will be having number 4 Tor Helebo taking home the win tonight. In that third spot, Craig Kinney, and number 2 spot, Greg Webb. We are on lap 98. And I do not believe we are going to go green again.
You know, one of the sour things about being on iRacing to begin with, you know, the only thing that I can really complain about is the fact that we don't get to choose our green flag restarts and try to make it to the end. It's one of those things where you kind of bite the bullet, but at the same time, if the race ends, you're in that winner's circle, you're kind of glad it's over.
Yes, sir, I understand that. Now, something I'm not sure if I had mentioned tonight during our broadcast with All Pro Broadcasting, courtesy of Mike Clenny and Pad, tonight's winner will receive the equivalent of 1 month iRacing subscription and iRacing credits. And then for every other truck, the first Pad logoed truck to cross the line from position 2 back, he himself will also receive the equivalent of 1 month racing subscription paid out in iRacing credits.
You know, that is one amazing deal right there. I mean, for everything that Pad does, I'm very pleased to see that they have just a giving personality behind the box, behind the desk, you know, so that way they can put on events like this and put out for people like that to continue on, so that way they can further the gathering and also try to help support Pad and do everything like that. It's really cool to see how they promote and everything.
Well, right now I am taking a look at the position 2 truck of Greg Webb, and I do not see the Pad logo on him. Nor do I see one on position 3, Craig Kinney, so it looks like that secondary set of iRacing credits might go to Jason Ruscio. Trying to locate the Pad logo on his truck. I'm pretty sure it's on there somewhere.
It looks like it is on the left rear corner panel.
I also see
on the
it
bumper.
Yes, sir. It's also underneath the driver's side headlight. Good job to Jason Ruscio for showing his Sport 4 pad.
Either way it goes, that was good racing and an amazing job by all of the drivers that were able to keep it 3 wide, 4 wide at times, able to save it, everything.
Yes, sir. And before we end tonight's broadcast, we are going to get Tor and Greg Kinney up here in the booth with us as soon as they get their trucks parked down onto Victory Lane. Again, I am Scott with my announcers Cody and Scott Finstermacher, announcing the race for Pad 266, brought to you by KMA Racing and Pad, broadcasting done by All Pro Broadcasting Network. Had a lot of drivers tonight show their support for Pad. A lot of purple pride out there. Several paint schemes out here tonight have been done by Over the Top Designs and Paints. A lot of good looking trucks out here tonight. One of those good-looking trucks was driven tonight by number 9 of Joel Guy. Actually, Joel designed that pad truck on his own time. Amazing show of support there in that number 9 Joel Guy truck.
It doesn't look near as pretty as when it was, all straight and buffed out.
Yes, sir, he is a little bit dinged up right there. Alrighty, and these drivers are coming down to the finish line. Once again, congratulations to Tor Helebo, bringing home the win tonight. Greg Webb in position 2, and Craig Kinney in position 3. Give these drivers a minute to park their trucks, and we'll get them up here into victory lane. How about it, Tor? Have you got a copy? This is Scott up in the booth.
10-4, Scott. How's it going?
It's doing pretty good here. Had a lot of fun watching you guys tonight. You're bringing home the win tonight in this Pad 266 race. Talk to us about your race.
Well, Mark Maffett and I, we just was going to take it easy. We wanted to get a decent qualifying time, so our pit box was high up there, and then really just take it as it goes and try to not use any quick repairs. So we stayed up there in the beginning, and after the first caution, we decided to run in the back for a while and try to see if we could stay out of trouble, which worked out pretty good. A little heavy on the cautions, but at the end, we ended up where we wanted to be, and got a little lucky there maybe on that last caution. So it would have been a nice tight finish, I think, but it's another bad race.
All right, well, amazing to you, and congratulations, and you will be receiving a $12 iRacing payout for winning tonight's race, and we'll get that to you as soon as we can. How about our number 2 finisher tonight, Greg Webb? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, great job securing that P2 position. Did you have a good time? Talk to us about your night.
Oh yeah, I had a blast there. A lot of good drivers in here. A lot of fun there.
Yes, sir. You were definitely making your presence known. You sat up there in the top 10 for many a lap. Talk to us about what you were thinking up there.
I was trying to figure out which line I'd get to go with, which would be the best way to go, and I was preferring the high line, and I finally got up there. And it is unfortunate, them couple of cautions there towards the end, but it was a blast.
Now, you were pretty much up there in that front pack by yourself. You really didn't have any partners or teammates, did you?
No, my teammate Ryan Eckstein, he got some damage there earlier in the race there, so I was kind of up there just working with whoever I could.
Alrighty, amazing job tonight taking home that P2 spot, especially since you were kind of like a lone wolf up there. Great job. How about our number 3 spot, Craig Kinney? Talk to us about your race.
Yeah, well, I just kind of started at the back there, Scott, just rode around trying to stay out of trouble, and didn't really think about any track position until about lap 80 or so, and we pitted there with, I think there was about 27 to go, and I was lucky enough to get hooked up with Jason, and him and I kind of tagged along in the middle lane there, and just kind of rode around, and it was unfortunate to end under caution there. Him and I think really could have had something for the pack if we hooked up, but that's how racing goes, so it's, what can you do?
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we had our cameras glued on you, and you were up there in that third lane, and you boys were making that third lane work. Talk to us about that third lane action.
Well, I think the guy that benefits the most from the third lane is definitely the guy leading it. That's provided the guy on the bottom and the middle kind of give you room to run them down low as well, and it takes a lot of trust to do that, but luckily tonight up front, the guys up front were all holding their line, and we were able to draft them pretty good there as a side draft and make a good run of it.
Alrighty, copy that. Now, I had mentioned some payouts for our tonight's winner. Our second payout done by Pad would be the next truck from position 2 back that had the Pad logos on their trucks. Greg and Craig, were you guys Pad logoed up tonight?
I
don't think mine's got one on there.
Team, so I don't have it on here, but no.
All right, we'll copy that. Well, if you want to do that for next time around, if you are the second logo truck up there behind the winner, we'll make it worth your while. It pays to display. Other than that, guys, I'm very impressed with the 1, 2, and 3 finish here. Great job. Appreciate you guys showing your support tonight for coming out for the race for Pad 266, and we had a pretty good night.
Hey, thank you, Scott, and thanks, Pad and KMA. It's always a pleasure to ride in your rooms here. So thank you, Mark Meffett. Great job again. Appreciate it, everybody.
Yes, sir. Any final thoughts tonight, Scott or Cody?
I thought the race went pretty well. In the stretches we got, we saw a lot of good 3-wide action. We saw some deep 3-wide action. A little heavy on the cautions, like our drivers said, but all in all, I think we had a pretty good event.
A pretty good event indeed. It was really fun to watch. A lot of 3-wide, a lot of bumper humping and mistakes that could have been avoided, but really was a very true good job.
Alrighty, and just a final reminder, gentlemen, we do this the first Sunday of every month. That is our Race for Pad 266 live broadcast done by All Pro Broadcasting Network. And one more time, I am Scott Kulovic in the booth with Cody Lipster and Scott Finstermacher. Thank you guys for viewing us and for having a good time tonight and your support of PAD, and that is PADD, People Against Distracted Driving. You can find more information about them at padd.org and on Facebook. And a special shout out to our broadcasting crew tonight, All Pro Broadcasting. Check them out up there at All Pro Broadcasting. A lot of great stuff up there. I am Scott, and we are signing out for the night.
Does it quite the way a CT does. Clean it. The pride of the fleets, the pipe swinging frog men of the UTT.
That vehicle.
Adrenaline.